guys, this is Taylor and I'm here today to tell you about my TBR for the month of September. First and foremost, 100% of the inspiration for this video and this TBR idea came from Books and Lala. I believe she was the first person to ever do this TBR concept, so please go check out her video if you haven't seen it yet because it is a brilliant idea. Basically what's happening here is I have taken the Ancestry DNA test, not a sponsor, and I have found out the exact percentages of my ethnic makeup. Then I chose books to read for September based on what those results were. And I tried to choose not just books that were set in those areas, but books that were actually written by authors of that descent. The only downside here is that I have already taken the Ancestry DNA test. I think I did it in, I want to say January 2017. So unfortunately you're not going to get the reaction of me seeing my results for the first time, but I hope you find the data interesting anyway. I'll start out a little bit with what I thought my results might be, like what my family had speculated. My dad's side was definitely the murkiest. He always told me growing up that we were French, not French Canadian, like France French. My mom said that she always thought that there was Lithuanian blood on his side, but my mom's side we had a little bit more concrete information because my grandma, my mom's mom, is very Irish, like 100% Irish, and we all have this lovely ruddy complexion and we have this like ancestral shillelagh, aggressively Irish. And that would make my mom about 50% Irish and me about a quarter, give or take. That does leave me with another quarter or so of my ancestry that I just had no speculation about, or we thought that it just might be bits and pieces of other identities. But for the most part, that's what I thought. That's what we had all thought in my family, and as we take a look at my results here, you'll see that most of that is a complete and total lie. So starting with my biggest percentage, I am, drumroll, 32% Eastern European with concentrations in Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. So that doesn't necessarily exclude Lithuania, but it seems to have really zeroed in on the middle of Europe there, and that would exclude Lithuania because it's further north. My second largest percentage is 28% Ireland, Scotland, Wales. So that's pretty much faithful to the story that I was told. I really am about a quarter Irish, so that checks out. My next largest percentage is a big chunk of my DNA. I am 22% Scandinavian, so Sweden, Norway, Denmark. This is where things start to get pretty screwy because I had no idea that I was remotely Scandinavian, although I guess it does sort of make sense because parts of me are translucent. And finally, my last big percentage. Notice that France has been mysteriously absent until this point. I am 12% Iberian, so Spain and Portugal. So my theory here is that all of the blood that my dad had said was French is actually Iberian because my mom also took the Ancestry DNA test and she had no Iberian. So that's definitely from my dad. So here's what all of the results look like together. And you can also see that I had some low confidence regions like Great Britain and other bits in Europe and somewhere in the Caucasus. But in terms of my TBR, because that is technically what we're here for, I'm going to stick to the big percentages, so Eastern Europe, Ireland, Scandinavia, and Iberia. And when I was choosing my TBR, I wanted to try and go with books that I already owned as opposed to buying more books because of course I'm on a book buying ban technically, and thankfully I was able to do that. So for Eastern European, one of the countries that they were able to narrow it down to was Poland, and a book that I've been wanting to get to for a long time is The Elephant by Sławomir Mrazek. This is a satirical collection of short stories that are basically a riff on living under a totalitarian regime. I've heard that this is very strange and very funny, so I think that it could be right up my alley. For Ireland, I decided to go with a James Joyce, and the one that I own is A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I actually know very little about this going into it, but I believe that this is a coming-of-age story that is essentially autobiographical. Joyce as an author is completely new to me, so I'm excited to see how I get on with this. For Scandinavia, I thought I was going to have a really hard time finding something, but to my delight, I discovered that Sigrid Undset was Norwegian, and the Kristin Lavransdatter series is set in medieval Norway. And I already own this beautiful penguin drop cap edition of the first book in the series. Lastly, for Iberia, I initially had a hell of a time finding an appropriate author because I wanted to go with a contemporary Spanish author, and I was struggling so hard to find one until I realized that I'm a complete and total idiot. And of course, Carlos Ruiz Zafón is from Spain. Guys, this took me a month to realize. So anyway, Shadow of the Wind, huge, super popular book. I've owned this for years and been really intimidated by the hype, honestly, but I really have heard nothing but good things, so I'm hoping I just follow suit. So that is my TBR for the month of September. Of course, the new school semester is underway, so I'm really crossing my fingers hoping that I have the time to read everything that I want to read this month. So wish me luck, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!